If you want to change your life as a young person in 2025, this is the video you should be watching. My name is Richard Chiku. I'm a computer engineering graduate here in Nigeria, and over the past few weeks, I've been delving into deep work as it relates to learning, studying, and research. Over time, I've discovered that there are basically 5 things that stop young people from being successful. And in this video, we're going to be looking at a couple of those things and how it applies to you. So if you're watching this video, I need you to watch to the end because the number 5 is the one you don't want to miss. So, quick backstory. In 2019, I was just a young individual who got into the university trying to figure out life and trying to basically understand how the university system works. At that time, I just got admission to study computer engineering, and I knew that was a course I actually wanted to study, and I decided to give it my best, to give it a shot and put in the work. Fast forward to 2024, when I graduated. I didn't want to join the league of young people who are all over Nigeria, taking their CVs from post to post, trying to get a job. I decided to take a different route. I began to seek out opportunities in the global space because prior to that time, I've already been building skills during my time in school. I got my first remote job precisely in 2021. I was still a student at the time, so I was working remotely with a company in UK while I was studying. It wasn't so easy for me, but I knew exactly what I wanted, and I knew that this opportunity would prepare me for life after school. So yeah, back to my story. In 2024, I completed my university education, and then a few months later, I applied to a global opportunity, a 3-month internship that were to pay about $7,000. I know it sounds pretty crazy, right? Especially coming from a third world country as I am. So if you're watching this, and probably you're from Nigeria, in Africa, or some other third world country, even if you're watching from somewhere in the US, it's an opportunity that is also available if you're willing to put in the work and also grab it. So I applied to an open source internship that was specifically for people who are underrepresented in tech. So at that time, we had to write a couple of essays during the first stage, which is the initial application phase. So I'm going to put in the link in the description for those of us that are interested in applying. So let's get back into the story. So after I applied for the internship, it had over 10,000 applications, but I didn't give up, even though over time, the previous cohorts, they were just about 30 something persons selected for the internship because it's a very, very competitive internship. Yeah, so I put in the work and eventually I got in. And I just rounded up my internship. I was paid about $7,000 for that internship. The reason I am sharing this story is not just necessarily because about the money I was paid, but I need to share with you some certain steps that I took in order to get to where I am today. I'm not exactly where I wish to be, but I'm certainly not where I used to be. So if you are listening to me and you're watching this video, and probably you're a young person like me at the age of 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and to get better at what you do, you want to be more successful, you want to be more intentional, I need you to watch this video till the end. I'm going to be sharing with you 4 tips that can change the course of your entire life. As a young person, if you're struggling to be consistent at what you do, these are the tips you should listen to. And number 4 is the most important. Number 1, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what exactly do I want to do? Who do I want to be known for? What do I want people to think when they see me coming? So I asked myself this question as early as my 200 level, my year 2 in the university. And at the time, I told myself that I want people to see a bold, young person who is intentional about his life, intentional about growth, and grabs every single opportunity he can to grow. And then I began to put in the work, and it eventually paid off. So the first things first has to do with your mind. You have to ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to be? What kind of young person, what kind of young girl, what kind of young boy do you want to be? If you're a young kind of young man, what kind of young woman do you want to be? How exactly do you want people to see you every single day of your life? And if you actually thought about that, I need you to just put it in the comment section and just say, I want to be excellent, I want to be great, I want to be successful. Then after you've told yourself that this is the kind of person you need to do, it is not enough to just say it. The second thing then you have to do, which leads me to number 2, is what I call being intentional. I know it might sound cliche, but for so many of us, we struggle so much to be intentional about the things that we do. Whether it's you're learning a new course, you're learning a new skill, whether it's a business you want to start up, whether it's a training, a boot camp you want to finish. A lot of people struggle to be intentional. I'm going to show you the fastest way to actually be intentional at anything you do. And it might sound pretty weird, but it has worked for me over the years, and I'm sure it will definitely work for you. So a man once said something that anytime you are uncomfortable, anytime you are hungry, it is a sign that you need to put in more work. So this is a strategy you can use to be more intentional. A lot of times, try to delay gratification. Yeah. So number two, if you want to be more intentional about your life, delay gratification. I know as young people, we are tempted to be in a situation where we want to have a better life at a very young age. Of course, if you're a Gen Z like me, we're born in an era where things are on fast mode. You have fast food, you have fast burger, you have fast drinks, you have fast ice cream. Everything is so fast. Even technology has made things fast. But I want to tell you that there is a difference between being fast for the right reasons and being fast for the wrong reasons. When it comes to gratification and things that you don't necessarily need at this stage of your life, you have to ensure you delay that gratification. A brief scenario would be during my time in the university, I had so many opportunities to be very comfortable, live a very comfortable life, rent an apartment for myself, get a plasma TV, get some nice furniture in my room. I had that opportunity because I had my 200 level, my second year in school. I was on several scholarships that afforded me the ability to afford those things. But I told myself, hey, are these things really important to me right now? Are these things that I should be bothering myself about? I asked myself that question. I figured out that, I could actually delay this gratification to a point where I can effortlessly afford these things without breaking the bank. I could afford them at the time, but I knew it would definitely take a lot from me. So what did I do? Instead of going ahead to rent an apartment, buy all the equipment, furniture and all, which would eventually even distract me from my studies in school, I decided to delay that gratification until I'm done with school. And I never regretted it because I later channeled those funds that I had at the time into learning and growing and developing myself. I spent those money on courses, trainings, physical conferences that enabled me build a successful network even before leaving the university. Okay, so number three is my personal favorite because it's something I do every single day of my life. Number three is continuous learning. See, if you are listening to me, you're watching this video, you really are tired of the way your life is and you want to transform your life, be seen as someone who is intentional about what they do, you want people to appreciate you and celebrate you when they see you coming, you have to be a voracious reader. I know as young persons, we have the tendency to not like reading a lot of books, but of course, technology has made it easier for us these days that you can easily have access to ebooks, you can have access to videos. YouTube is there. Of course, if you're watching this video on YouTube, then you are someone who is intentional about their growth. There are videos, lots and tons of videos on YouTube that you can actually watch in order to make your life better. So you cannot do without continuous learning. You have to be someone who consumes the right knowledge at the right time. Now, let's say for instance, you want to start a business and you don't have the right skills for that business yet. Maybe you want to start a digital marketing agency and you've not really learned digital marketing to a point where you can start up an agency. There are lots and lots of free resources on the online space that you can consume in order for you to get the right knowledge that you need. So that is exactly what I do day by day. I have a target of exactly what I need to learn every single day. Beginning of this year, I gave myself a target to finish one book every single month. This is month 3. I'm already on my third book, and it's pretty exciting because one thing reading does for you is that it puts you way ahead of many others. A lot of people don't read, especially if you are from this part of the world. A lot of people don't read, and knowledge is so available everywhere. It is called knowledge because it's what you know that gives you an edge, hence the word knowledge. So you want to ensure that you are grabbing knowledge and you are learning continuously, getting better at what you do every single day. Number 4 is what I call the SMART process. How many of you have been in a situation where you set a goal, you set a target for yourself, and you find it difficult to achieve that target? A lot of times, the reasons why we fail to achieve certain goals is those goals are not SMART. And what is SMART? Simply specific, measurable, achievable, and time bound. So you want to set goals that are SMART. You want to set goals that are measurable, goals that you can actually tell yourself that in the next 5 months, 6 months, 1 year or 2 years, this is exactly where I want to be and this is what I want to do. That is a measurable goal than just saying I want to be the richest man on earth without being the richest man on earth is vague, right? It's not really measurable. And you want to set goals that are achievable. A goal that is achievable is by saying that you want to be the richest man on earth. If you are 24, let's say you want to be the richest man on earth at 40 years. It's actually achievable, more achievable than saying you want to be the richest man on earth in the next 5 months. How exactly do you want to do that? Except maybe you have some private equity or you have some funds stashed up somewhere that, or you want to rob a bank. That is the only way you can actually achieve such a goal. You want to also set goals that are time bound. Again, T is for time bound. What that means is that I want to achieve this in X amount of years. I want to achieve this in X amount of months. By doing this, you'll figure out that you'll be able to achieve more of your goals faster than you initially planned to. And the last one, if you watched to this point, I'm sure you've been getting a lot of value from this video. If you're getting a lot of value from the video, I need to hit that like button and smash the subscribe button, and also drop a comment to let me know exactly what you learned, and share this video to someone out there who might need it to grow. And number 5, which is my personal favorite, is never give up. I know it might also sound cliche for a lot of people. You might think, oh, I've heard always said about it. People always telling me not to give up, not to give up. But what do I do when it seems so hard and difficult and things are not really working out the way they should be? Quick story. A man said that it's the man who gives up that actually gave up. It's the man who gives up that actually gave up. But I'm not saying you shouldn't feel like giving up. You shouldn't get to a point where you are tired and things are so tight and you're so stressed. But now, even if you get to that point, do not give up. It might surprise you to know that it might just be at the point of your breakthrough. It might just be at the point of you making a headline that you gave up. And there is no reward for whoever gives up. There is no reward for even the man who actually tried has a reward than the man who gave up. So no one would value the time and the amount of energy you spent in getting something to work if you eventually give up in the end. But people will always appreciate your time and effort, and eventually they would pay if you don't give up. So if you're applying for that job, you're applying for that opportunity, keep going, keep applying for the opportunity. I'm not saying this to motivate you. I'm saying things that I've done that have worked for me. I apply every single day. I apply for opportunities as they come my way. Do I get rejections? Heck yeah, I get a lot of rejections every single day. But remind yourself that sometimes all you need is just one yes, and that one yes can transform your life totally. So once again, my name is Richard Chiku, and on this channel we are all about using technology to help you make your life better and help you make more money, and also personal development tips that help you achieve your goals faster and better. Please do well to hit the subscribe button, and see you in my next video. Thank you, and as usual, stay rich.